Were there any riders that you seem to like be always bar banging with or have run-ins with, and did it ever spill into the pits in the paddock? Or
no, never into the pits paddock. I mean, it seemed like kind of later in my career, for whatever reason, we were actually really good friends as me and Albie. Me and Greg would end up...
Greg Albertine,
yeah, we would just end up smashing into each other often. Like, never intentionally or trying to take each other out, but we somehow found each other on the track quite often over the course of about 3 years, which was just kind of coincidental, but just one of those things. You know, maybe it was because we were both kind of running the same speed time or whatever it was, but we somehow ended up racing with each other quite a bit, and all good racing, never dirty. I would say that's probably one of the only ones for sure.
Was there any certain guys that you would be aware of when they were on the track, thinking so and so might take me out here? Is there one of them guys that?
Not really.
No.
I can't think of anybody that I was like, oh shit, you know, or I'm coming up on somebody, or you get a pit board, you know, maybe you're going backwards a little bit and they're coming through. And the only guy that was ever always coming through was Larocco.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, literally everything.
You know, he was always coming from the back, and especially you know, deep into an outdoor moto. It's like you know, and you're up front or whatever. You kind of got to know if he's behind you, he's probably coming the last 2 or 3. Yeah. But yeah, and even me and Mike. I mean, we had 1 or 2 run-ins actually. We had a funny run-in in Japan. In Osaka Supercross one year. Okay. But it got settled pretty quickly. Nothing ever even made its way to the pits. So
that's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
That's all good then. If you had a preference between Supercross or outdoor motocross, if you could choose one to ride, what would it be and why?
I have 2 answers for that. Supercross is really fun because I go back to that. You're in a Coliseum, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not really exhausting. You know what I mean? It's intense. But it was fun to win because you're on a big stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know that when you win a Supercross race, you're sitting on the podium at the end of the night, you know, being, you know, super crazy type A, ridiculous personality that you have to be to, like, get to that point.
Yeah.
You love the fact that, like, everybody in the stadium wants to be you.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at you. Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I would say, like, the thing that I enjoyed the most was when you rode really well or you won an outdoor motocross race, because it is 2 motos, it's gnarly.
Yeah.
It's like your body is worked at the end of it, and like to stand at the top of the podium at that point, like that feeling is like that internal feeling of accomplishment is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Whereas the accomplishment feeling that you get from Supercross is more from an external standpoint of everybody like, hey, good job, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Do well outdoors, like, you know, I feel good, like, you know, because you got to be badass to do that. So
yeah. My next question was a little bit part of that. It says, do you have to adapt your style much changing from Supercross to outdoors, and what were the main differences between the 2 styles?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was too much difference. I mean, again, you know, back then, Supercross was much about finding your rhythm.
Yeah.
And I think outdoors is still outdoors. Outdoors is just being a badass motherfucker. Period.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be fit. You got to be willing to twist the cable.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. You know, and the fitter you are, the more you can twist that cable, and you can do it for longer.
Yeah. Plus 2 races, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, you look at guys. You know, you look at the best guys in the world right now. You know, you look at Jeffrey. You look at Eli, you look at Kenny, you know, AC last year, Ferrandis, the other AC, you know, like, dude, those guys are so fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, they are badass sons of bitches, period.
Flat out.
They're fit. I mean, it's kind of cool sometimes. It's been a few years since I've done it, but I've taken a couple friends to outdoor nationals.
Okay.
That ride dirt bikes, right? So they know what like a local track looks like. It's pretty smooth. And you take them to an outdoor national where it's that deep and the guys are hitting everything so fast and it looks beautiful, right? Like it does.
Yeah.
And like the respect level, they're like, holy shit, like we never had an idea that someone could do this. Like, because they're the best. They make it look that simple.
Yeah. When you see it close up,
Yeah. So I mean, I think the outdoor thing to me, like, I think that's where the real badasses are. Not taking anything away from Supercross because you got to be gnarly to go win Supercross as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, dude, Jeffrey Herlings is a fucking bad dude.
Yeah, real bad. He's real good.
When he came over here a couple years ago, I mean, dude, he laid an ass whipping down.
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Dude, it was unbelievable, man. He looked like, and again, like it was the last race, so a lot of guys had already thrown the towel in because they weren't going to move up or move back in points. So maybe it's a little bit different, but dude, he was passing guys, good guys that looked like they were chained to a fence.
Madness, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I watched that race as well. That was really cool.
It was good.
That was very good. Very good. Right, next one. You raced the 125cc GPs in Europe.
Yeah.
I think it was 95.
Yep.
Yep. Did you enjoy that experience?
I did. At the time, age gives you some perspective. At the time, I was pissed off that I had to go over there because
so it wasn't a choice. It wasn't a choice then.
No. I'd only lost the Supercross championship by a couple of points.
Okay.
It was kind of funny. So I was riding 125 Supercross and I was riding 250 outdoor. Okay. And I did really well in 250 outdoor, and I almost won the championship in Supercross and won a bunch of races on the podium, indoors, outdoors. And Greg Albertine had just won his second 250.
250, yeah, 94, yeah, Everts, yeah.
So he had a deal with Suzuki Japan that if he did that, he got to come over to the U.S. And so that was when he locked that up. That was my ride. So it was so late in the year that Suzuki came to me before the last outdoor national, and they're like, "Hey, we're not going to be able to keep you on next year." I'm like, at the end of August, we're going to do this.
Yeah. Wow.
So I almost had put a deal together with Honda in the U.S., but it just didn't come together. So we did a deal in Europe, and so I was kind of pissed that I'd kind of been ousted a little bit because I was just really coming into my own pretty well.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, I was only, I think I just turned 21, so I was still super young, had plenty of time. Yeah. So I was maybe a little upset that I was there. And I think in the beginning, I didn't absorb as much as I should have.
Yeah.
I understood it later on, but yeah, I enjoyed the racing. I made a bunch of really good friends that I'm still really close to, which I think is a little bit different than the way it is in the U.S. It's very business-like over here, whereas there, because you have to races for so long, everybody becomes very family-ish. You're eating in someone's transporter and having pasta with this guy and having a glass of wine over here. So it's a little bit more of that family feeling. And so I established some relationships I have to this day. Like Paul Malin, me and Paul were really good mates, and I spent some time in England at his family's home, and we rode together, and we're friends, and we're still friends. We still text and call, and it's always great, to see each other. Big hug when we see each other in person these days. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I enjoyed it. I wish I would have stayed on my Italian a bit more because I don't have hardly any of it left. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed my time in Europe. When me and my wife got married, we ended up spending 3.5 weeks in Italy, just going around, showing her where I lived and stuff that we did and whatnot. So, I still have a really nice place in my heart for Europe. I mean, I would love to have a house there for the summertime.
Yeah.
be pretty cool. That and my kids really like kind of world history, so they're very interested in going over there. So yeah, I mean it's a place I'm pretty fond of for sure.
In the '95 in that season, did you actually race Fox Hill Motocross track?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I thought you did because that's my home track. That's my home track.
Yeah.
So I remember watching you.
We had a huge crash in the first corner, first moto.
Yeah.
I had to come from dead ass last.
Yeah.
Paul,
what did you think of that track? Yeah. What did you think of that track?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought it was I had so much fun. I mean, I remember on Saturday during practice, like I was throwing like cans and knack-knacks and everything.
I remember that. That was cool.
It was so much fun to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time because that was the only race that year that was both a 125 and a 250 GP on the same weekend.
Yeah, I remember.
So it was cool because then I got to see a lot of my friends, like Bob Moore and Trampus and Talon, I think was over there at the time. So I got to see a lot of my friends and hang out a bit. And then obviously being in England, and I hadn't been in an English-speaking country in quite some time.
Yeah.
It was nice to be at the hotel and just not have to really concentrate on the menu too much. You could just order what you felt like.
Yeah, and be safe.
But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that track. I wouldn't want to race there in the mud, but
no.
Nations a few years later. But yeah, it was a blast. That track was super fun.
It's literally 5 minutes from my house. It was so cool to come and see you guys. Like 5 minutes from my house. It was amazing.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. I literally went and had a look about 2 weeks ago.
Do they race there anymore, or is it closed down?
Yeah, they still do British Championship rounds there. Yeah, I go and take some photos every now and then, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool.
Yeah, it's still there. During your career, obviously, all the riders get injuries throughout their career, but was there any injuries, like niggling injuries throughout that maybe cost you championships or races that people weren't aware of that you remember?
Yeah, I had my second year pro. I did a little stupid local race in between Supercrosses, because I was riding West Coast. There was like a 8-week off period of time, and I did a local race. And a flagger didn't have a flag out, come flying over a jump. There was a bike laying there, and I land right into the bike, fall down, dislocate my shoulder. I put it right back in. I got it in probably within about a minute or two. Like I put it back. There was a big pole sticking out of the ground. I slammed my shoulder into it and popped right back in. And I didn't, obviously you go get it checked out and everything, but that thing nagged me. So that was 91. I ended up having to have that thing completely rebuilt at the end of the 97 season. So it kind of nagged for a while. Yeah, and it got to the point when I would be going through a set of whoops in Supercross, it would dislocate going through the whoops. And when I won Daytona in 94, I had like a 18-second lead halfway through the race, and it popped out. It took me like a quarter or two to get the thing back in, and then it was just a ton of pain. I didn't have a lot of strength. So that race, I still won it, but I should have won that race by 20 or 30 seconds, and I won it by 3 or 4. But yeah, that was a nagging injury, and then once I got the thing fixed, it's funny, I got it fixed, and I was supposed to ride the Barcelona Supercross in 97, and I called the promoter. I'm like, hey, I can't come. Like, I need 1 more week of rehab. So they're like, okay, just show up at Bercy. I showed up at Bercy, and I ended up winning. I think I won the second night. I think I third the first night, won the second night. I missed King of Bercy by 1 point. And that was my very first race back on the bike after having the shoulder completely rebuilt. So, yeah, I was like, okay, shit, I should have did this like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Talking about Bercy, actually, obviously everyone in the UK used to love watching the Bercy Supercross every year, and all the Americans going over there. What did you think about Bercy Supercross?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, the third night was always pretty hard. I remember going to the starting line drinking a can of Coca-Cola just because you needed some sugar. Sugar, yeah. Obviously, you fly over. You're already jet lagged. You race 2 nights, and you're racing inside the place that didn't have great ventilation.
Okay.
and there's a lot of racing too, right? You have your practice, your qualifiers, your heat races, your semifinals, your super final. So they got their money's worth out of us, that's for sure. And by the third night, you would just be smoked. And the thing is, nights 1 and 2, so Friday and Saturday nights were night races, and then the third race on Sunday was a day race. So you would literally get back to the hotel at 1 o'clock or maybe even 2 o'clock in the morning. And you had to be up at like 8 a.m. to go to the track to start practice again. I remember a lot of times on Sunday, like I wouldn't even ride first practice. I would just not even show up for first practice and just ride the second practice, which is a qualifier.
Yeah.
Because at that point, the track's not getting changed. You know what's going on, and you go look at it real quick, and then you can go throw your lap time down for your qualifying.
Did you like the old underground tunnel thing, the straight? Did you like that bit?
Yeah,
pretty cool on TV.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you were going so fast, and you always had those, 5 whoops at the end.
At the end, for that little cone,
Back. It was funny because the tunnel section never changed, for me at least. All the years I rode there, the tunnel section was exactly the same.
Yeah.
Except for 1 year it went backwards. I forget which year it went backwards, but one of the years it went backwards. But the rest of the time, it's funny because with it not really changing it, the bumps were in pretty much the same place. The speed was about the same, but year to year, it's like you would either have that section really, really dialed, or and I remember a couple of the years that I had it figured out well. You could end up passing a lot of people if you needed to, if you got a bad start or something. But Bercy was always good. Always had a lot of fun there. It was always nice. They always paid us pretty well, so it was cool.
That's cool. Okay. If you could give some good advice to any youngsters that are currently racing schoolboy motocross or youth that want to go pro, what advice would you give them?
Probably the most advice I would give is that if you're really serious, whatever you think you're doing, from a work standpoint, is not even close to being enough. It just, I think that's the biggest leap that you have to take when you go from being a top amateur to not just becoming a pro and not just doing well to being really in the mix. Is the amount of work that you have to put in is staggering. It really is. And that's the part, I would say that I had a lot of talent. And so I think the first couple of years I relied maybe a little bit too much on the talent part, because I could show up at a track and I was super dialed, and I could just find my way around it pretty easily.
Yeah.
And I know that had I understood the level of off-bike training that I needed to do, the on-bike stuff was pretty simple, because it was riding. I loved to ride, and I would ride for hours and hours. That wasn't a problem. But the very specific, off-bike training, I used to hate cycling. It's funny that I like it now. But I used to absolutely, when my trainer wanted me to do it, I was like, really? We're really going to go ride for 4 hours? This sucks. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But once I learned that putting in that base is what made it, that's what made the difference, from lap 15 to 20 and from minute 25 to 35. That off-bike stuff is what made the difference.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known about that. So I would say that's probably the thing that I would tell guys more than anything is being very tuned into that. And then the other thing is that I really didn't know too well until I had a trainer that was living with me at my house was your diet intake. Because you're riding and I'm skinny, I always have been, so I could eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
But understanding really well what you're putting into your body.
Yeah.
I think that's a frontier that guys need to really understand. And I think this generation knows more about it than we did.
Yeah.
Because it is so much more out in the open. And obviously, there's an internet now. There wasn't before.
Yeah, 100%.
So you can grab so much more data and learn so much more quickly. Maybe some of the information is bad, but at least you can find good information out there. So I would say, putting in the level of work that you need to, and then putting the right fuel in your body is probably the two biggest keys to any of it.
Okay, well, I've got 2 more left for you.
Nice.
What do you miss the most about competitive racing now?
Beating people.
About the main thing.
Straight up. Like it's you don't get it out of doing a business deal.
Nah.
You don't do it out of making money.
Buzz.
None of that stuff, man. Like, there's nothing like winning. Like that. If you could figure out a pill.
Yeah, winning pill.
That was winning in it.
Cost a lot of money. That was.
You'd be the richest person in the world. I would say that's like the biggest thing is like, I'm competitive at everything. So, that feeling, and other people get their skirt blown up for other reasons to do other things, whether it's creative or whatnot. But for me personally, being able to win and beat your competition and rise to that occasion, especially when you can win beating people that you respect and that you think are of a high level. So I say that competitiveness, that's pretty hard to replicate with anything in life, that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Final one. What are your social media account names that people could check you out on?
All my account names are the same. It's BTNFLY, Buttonfly. Whether it's Twitter or Instagram, everything's the same.
Brilliant. Superb. Yeah. Jimmy, I really appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, Lee, no worries, man. It was good to talk, good to hang out, and anytime.
It's superb. I really appreciate it. Thanks ever so much.
All right, bud. Talk to you soon.
So take it easy. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.